I have gotten better at fighting control. I'm a leader, like I have ideas and I have a vision and I want to see it come true, but I'm learning like to listen to when things kind of want to go another way, go, you know what, okay, let's listen to that for a second, you know, universe, and see what's trying to happen rather than always just forcing your way through, because you don't know everything. And you never know what could happen if you open your mind.
Hello, I'm Thea DeGallier and I'm here with Amy Lee from Evanescence for the latest in NME's In Conversation series. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great, thanks for having me.
Good, you're welcome. So, you've been on the road for a while now, almost coming up to a year since you started touring again.
Yeah, off and on, yeah.
How has that been? I know you've talked before about being desperate to get back out there after COVID.
Yes. Man, I'm so grateful for what I get to do for a living. I can't say we weren't grateful before, but after having that time where we kind of didn't know if or when we'd ever be able to do it again, it just made us all just feel this incredible living in the moment feeling when we're up there. We are all just so thrilled to be not just back on stage, but to have this whole new album music to play. You know, we spent the pandemic writing a new album, so it'd been a while and we'd had our songs and now we just have too many songs, so we're just like always struggling with what to cut.
Yeah, so that album, The Bitter Truth, is out now, and I guess you're showcasing songs from that on the tour?
Yeah, we're playing everything, but there's definitely plenty of that in there.
So how's the reaction been? Because I guess in the audience you must get a mix of some of the OG fans who've been there from the start and the teenagers from today who are getting into rock and metal through your band. So how does that feel to see
It's been great. It's impossible to please everybody. I've like kind of finally come to the place where I'm like, you know what, we know what to do. We're gonna make a great set. We're gonna play all the things. And there's so many songs that we love that we don't have time for, or some songs just don't work as well live. So it's got to be like this perfect combination of, we got to play our favorite hits. We're gonna play Bring Me to Life. We're gonna play My Immortal. But at the same time, like all the best of the new, and then there's of course 2 other records in between. So like we're trying to make a nice big package with a little bit of everything.
Great. So you're obviously doing a co-headline with Within Temptation.
Yeah.
Did you and Sharon Den Adel know each other before you were on this tour?
We did. We met, I'm trying to think what year. I think it was 2019 or 2018, probably 2019. We were touring around. And I had never seen them live before. I don't think any of us had, and it was the first time we finally actually played a show together. We were on a festival, and we all really made a point. I was like, let's go really watch this. And we went to front of house and watched the whole thing, and it was phenomenal. Her voice is incredible, just really good, and they have a lot of different music. Obviously, they have their classic sound, but then there's all this cool new music that's really in a little bit of a more modern direction that I super dig. So we loved watching their show, and we really hit it off afterward, just hanging out and talking, and had a lot of like surprising amount in common, and had a really good deep conversation right from the get-go. And we were like, we should do the thing that fans have been asking us to do for a million years and just give into it.
Nice.
Of course, the pandemic happened, so we're finally doing this tour now when it was booked for 2020. So we're glad to be here finally.
Yeah, I saw another Instagram live interview with you and her talking, bonding over your love of cats. So.
Oh my God. I'm getting a new cat.
Oh.
After the tour. I'm so excited. It's been so long. I had the same, most beautiful, very large red and white Maine Coon for 18 years, and he just passed away last November. It's been a solid year. I didn't want to go like trying to replace him right away, but we are just now like, we're getting a new kitten at like Christmas. I'm so excited.
That's very exciting.
Very much looking
very
forward
exciting.
to it.
So people imagine, I think fans in particular, like to imagine tour life as being glamorous, parties on the go all the time. What's it really like?
It's completely unpredictable. Like some days it is grueling, and you're kind of struggling to get the sleep that you need, and it's a lot of travel, and it's a lot of sleeping in uncomfortable places, or running out of time, or having to be pulled over and not be able to get to your destination on time, and then everybody's rushing. But then other times you wake up in a place and you're in the middle of something unbelievable that you couldn't have planned. I have a really hard time like planning when we're going to be on tour. It's like, hey, we're going to be in London, or we're going to be in Paris. Like, let's make sure we blank. It's really hard to plan anything because everything's so like just in flux on tour, and everything's for the show. But if I've found through my years of touring, if you just relax and let it happen, and just when you have the time, go experience what you can, it can be absolutely amazing. And it definitely helps to be out on tour with people that you love.
Yeah,
we love
for sure.
each other. We love our crew. We've had a lot of our crew for many, many years, some even from the Fallen tour. So we like to, go try cool food together and, get to see the town when we get to. But it helps even when we don't get to do that we get to be together.
Yeah. Talking of good people to have on the road, I think you said in another interview that your bass player you felt was sent from the universe as like just the right person for the job. So are you into that kind of manifestation type stuff?
I honestly, I've grown more and more into it. I have gotten better at fighting control. I'm a leader, I have ideas and I have a vision and I want to see it come true, but I'm learning to listen to when things kind of want to go another way, go, you know what, okay, let's listen to that for a second, universe, and see what's trying to happen rather than always just forcing your way through, because you don't know everything. And you never know what could happen if you open your mind. But yeah, Emma has just been with us for, I can't remember how many months now, but she's just been with us this year. And we've known each other for many years. We met, I think, in 2005 or 6. She's wonderful. She's an excellent musician. We're good friends, and she's just fit in like she's always been there.
That's great. That's great when you know you've just got the right person for it. Great. And going back to talking about older fans and new fans, so some other great women in rock have said that Evanescence really inspired them, like Lizzie Hale and Taylor Momsen. And Lizzie Hale was in the video for Use Your Voice as well. So how did that come about?
Well, we're friends. So honestly, we support each other. And I think that the women in the rock community, we're kind of a lot of us are a tight circle. Because there are fewer of us and we want to support each other and we want to see each other do well. And I'm a firm believer in that, the more of us there are, the more of us there will be. So we want to see each other do well. And we ask each other for advice. Dina Jacob, who's the lead singer of the band Viridia, who's opening for us tonight, is one of my dear friends. And all three of us, Lizzie and Dina and I, all live in Nashville. So Dina, I had come over one day because I was stuck on Use My Voice, and I was we were showing each other ideas, and I was like, I love this song, but I can't figure out what to do for the chorus. I think maybe it's not, I don't know, maybe it's a solo song or something else. I can't figure it out. And as I played it for her, she's like, wait, play that again. And then she just had this idea for the chorus, and she helped write it. She helped me get there. I couldn't get the vocal melody to go, and then it opened the whole thing up, and the idea of all the girls singing and everything really came from that spirit of us helping each other and calling on your friends and everybody in the pool. So Dina's in the video too. But then, of course, it was the pandemic right after that. And I felt so lucky to be in Nashville, where our producer is and where Dina and Lizzie are, because they were actually able to come into the studio and sing on the track. Actually, this was right before. Sorry, I got it backwards. It was right before COVID, but then we were really stuck. And that support system just means so much, and it took the spirit of the song and just amplified it. So
yeah, no, that's great, and I think that's so true what you said about women in music supporting each other, without wanting to go down the typical women in music line of questioning.
Right.
But another line that I thought was really stand out from that song was the being labelled a bitch because I draw my own line, and I thought that kind of really spoke to society's sort of dislike of outspoken women. And I mean, is that something you've cared less about as you've got older in your careers?
I think it's not that I care less. I just feel more confident in my decisions, and I guess I care less when I think people don't get it or don't understand. I go, I'm not going to worry and change what I believe or who I am because somebody might misunderstand or call me a bitch or whatever. I'm not one.
No.
I'm confident that I'm not one, and I think that no matter what you do, I don't know, especially when you're on a large stage, it was harder for me to understand this when I was 21 and we were just starting. But you can't expect everybody to really know you. They don't. They get to see part of you. They get to see your music, and they get to hear your voice and see the piece of you that is shown. But there's more to all of us, just like I don't know them. So you got to kind of not be mad when people don't understand. But I know that's not really the question you're asking.
No, I know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it just takes kind of be strong, and when you know you're doing the right thing and you know you're being true to your heart, and like just don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, you know, some people do get too caught up in what others might think of them saying stuff, but you do learn to let that go, for sure. So you also used that song in a kind of collab to encourage people to register to vote a couple of years ago. And I know you've sort of said before, well, you know, I know this isn't going to appeal to all fans and they're not all going to have the same political affiliation. Have you kind of noticed any reaction to that? Or
Sure. I find it fascinating that it can even be a political statement to say to vote. It has been a really wild thing over the past few years, at least in my country, to watch everything be politicized to the point that it's like we should all be able to stand together and say, hey, let's all use our voice, right? Like, I'm not even telling you what to believe, just get out there. And I believe in humanity, I truly do. Despite whatever you may hear in my music, I'm kind of an optimist. I think that there are more people that are gonna do good and want good and help somebody else that got hit by a car than not in the world. And I think because of that, I believe that if everybody voted, we'd have better leaders. So I've tried to keep it as, you know, open as possible. Like, hey, just please use your voice, like, because I do believe that. But there are some very clear rights and wrongs out there.
No, for sure. I mean, do you feel like at this kind of point in time, like post-COVID and with everything else that's happening, like you said, everything being politicized in the US, it's even more important now than in the past for people to speak out,
completely
stand up?
Yes.
Yeah.
All over the world.
In terms of your music, obviously, like we've already said, it's been inspiring people, kind of getting them into alternative music for, well, as long as you've been around, really. You know, it's just as likely that someone sort of aged 40 and above might have an Evanescence album as well as somebody using it on TikTok. So, like, does that just kind of blow your mind a bit?
So awesome.
You're still kind of like one of the classic must-listen bands of that genre?
It's just a gift. I feel very, very blessed. I really do. And I remember being here and doing these interviews like on our first tour, and I really did not think that I would be here now at 40. I'm almost 41. Oh God. Not because I didn't think we could, but it's become so much bigger to me. It's just become something more than it was when we started, and that is from all the love that has been put into it by me and many others. Like, just pure, true love and fighting for it and getting through on the other side of the fight. It's really cool to be here, and by now I think with our fans, so many of them, the older ones, the old school fans, you know, we've lived life together. That music is the soundtrack to some of our lives. It means something more than it could have back then. And for the new ones, I just think that's wonderful. That's great. That's kick-ass. That means they're like sharing it. And also, you know, that we've continued to make cool music. I mean, that's the goal. If we couldn't be doing that anymore, I'd feel a little silly still standing here.
No, it's definitely, like, I remember it coming out when I was at school, Fallen, and now seeing teenagers on TikTok saying, I wish I lived through like the scene phase and soundtracking their TikToks with the song. And it's just like, I'm now old enough to say I remember it the first time, which is simultaneously...
I'm sorry and also glad that we didn't have TikTok and Instagram and stuff when we were first coming up. I'm very grateful, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I would have been so creative.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have it.
Yeah, so do you use much social media yourself? Would you?
A little bit. Yeah. I try not to be bound by it, but yeah, I love that I can have direct conversations, you know, with our fans. I really do. But I'm a little more careful than some people about sharing stuff in my private life.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. No, I think you're right, and it's totally changed kind of music media landscape as well, because it used to be like you'd have to go out and buy a magazine to see what your favourite
singers
are saying.
It's so cool to like have something to say and just be able to say it literally right now, like with my own voice, and not have it, no offense, not have it filtered through you.
You've spoken before about how the album and the start of the tour kind of came off the back of quite a bit of tragedy. So you talked about losing your brother and obviously the pandemic being a really tough time. Yeah. So have you found being back out on the road performing quite therapeutic to sort of process all that?
Very much. And, you know, at the time afterward, like, making the album was very cathartic for all of us. Because at the time, I think that we all felt, everybody, like we just had no control. Like more than ever, it was like, there's nothing I can do about this. This is something I literally can't control, and I don't know what's going to happen, and it's not up to me. That's really hard. I mean, that's life, but in just such a very extreme way, it felt like that more than ever. So to be able to make music and make something beautiful that we were building and controlling and, you know, changing in the way that we wanted to was just so good for our souls. And of course we had so much to say, you know, there was so much to talk about. But now to be able to play it live, there's a very, very special thing that happens. It is catharsis, but it's this a thing that is happening in the room through everyone in the room. The people that are watching and us, everybody, it's like there can be these transcendent moments that I haven't experienced anywhere else. And like I said before, we're just appreciating it so much more than
Yeah. Well, that's great. So, and then you're off again on tour next year with Muse.
Yeah. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. That's really cool. So, I mean, are you going to get a break between all this touring?
After that. I wasn't looking to book that one, but when Muse asked you to go on tour, you say yes. So we're going to have, you know, Christmas and then, you know, a little bit of a break for like January and some of February, and then we have our Muse tour. And then we will be doing some more shows next year, but I don't think there's going to be like a big tour. I think it's more like cool festivals and one-offs and places that we really need to hit that we've been wanting to hit. But yeah, I'm ready to kind of get back a little bit in creative mode. I have an 8-year-old. He's awesome. I'm looking forward to being home a little bit more for him. So yeah.
Does he ever come out on tour?
He does. He's going to be out for 1 week on this one. He loves Paris, so he's going to be with us when we're there.
Amazing. Did you talk about getting back into creative mode? Is that like writing for the next album, or are you thinking about side projects because you've done a few of those in the past?
I'm into all of it. Just ready to have the time and space to do anything. I try not to make too many concrete plans before it just happens. Like just when you just like sit at the piano and like get it, just let it happen and then go, ooh, here's what this is. But it's been fun. Like I've had a lot of cool collaborations and things come my way in the past couple of years that have been surprising and exciting and different. And I'm looking forward to more of that. But yeah, I want to make new music with this cool new energy we have with the band.
Well, I'm sure we're all excited to see what you come out with next. That's everything from me, so thank you very much for talking to us.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Oh, too. First time ever. So excited.